Guys, I wanted to start sharing my metaphysics research with you guys. I thought that would be an interesting video series just to see what I write down. So let me just split this into parts. Let's start with the time travel theories first. There's a few interesting ones that we could go over, fixed timeline theory, which means there's no changing time. Time is fixed. You can travel to the past, but you can't change it. It just becomes part of history. So say you go warn someone in the past, but instead your warning is the reason that something happens. You can probably think of Harry Potter Time Turner, the 12 Monkeys. And that brings up an interesting metaphysical question. If the past and future are already written, do we have any sort of free will? It's an interesting question. Let's go over dynamic timeline theory next, or what you guys know as the butterfly effect. Changing the past changes the future. Small changes can have really big consequences. You go back to stop a fight, but it accidentally leads to a much worse outcome. Maybe someone dies from it. Maybe think Back to the Future. And a question that can be brought up there is there an original timeline, or are we creating new versions of reality? Next one, I would say from my research, multiverse theory or many worlds theory, basically branching timelines. Every time you make a change, a new universe could split off with a different outcome. So you save someone in one timeline, but in another timeline they still get their fate. I would think best is think of future Trunks, think of Dragon Ball, how future Trunks went in time to go and save Goku from the heart virus, but it didn't affect his timeline. It's just a different branch of timeline now. And that also brings up the question of if infinite versions of you exist, or you could be the only. You could be. There's definitely infinite versions, but there's also timelines like you don't exist, infinite versions of that too. I'd say. Time loops are very interesting. They're basically Groundhog Day. You're stuck in a repeating loop. Say when you die of old age, and you basically wake up back when you were born and you live through the entire thing all over again, no memory of it or something. You can't really break said cycle. If you look at a philosophical angle here, if you're stuck in a time loop, would it change your perception of life and time? And if so, how would it change your perception of life and time? Another important thing with time travel, I would say, is to go over the physics of time travel. Start with Einstein's theory of relativity, where he says that time isn't a constant, it can stretch and bend based on speed and gravity. This leads to two important ideas, I would say, being time dilation, traveling to the future, traveling to close to the speed of light, so it slows down for you compared to someone other, which has been something shown when there was a moment of there was these astronauts who one of them, there were twin brothers, identical twins. One of them went to space for just 3 months, and the other one didn't. And when the one that was in space stayed younger for much longer, but when he came back to Earth, he actually aged up much faster than he was supposed to, and I believe he ended up dying. So that's a shame. I'm pretty sure it's also been studied with atomic clocks as well. There's gravitational time dilation, where time slows down near extremely strong gravitational fields, like a black hole. The closer you get to a black hole, the slower time is for you compared to the outside world. Next thing we should go over is wormholes, or shortcuts through space-time. which are like theoretical tunnels that connect two different points in space-time, kind of like a shortcut through the very universe's fabric itself. Like, if you could stabilize a wormhole, you might be able to travel to the past or future, like, near instantaneously. The problem is wormholes are most likely highly unstable and could collapse in an instant, and exotic matter would be needed, or negative energy, to keep them open. Cosmic strings was something I didn't know about before my research. Like infinitely long, super dense objects, like that are like left over from the early universe. If two cosmic strings pass by each other at near light speed, they might like potentially warp space-time enough to create a time loop, allowing for time travel potentially. Let's talk about some problems and paradoxes about time travel. Cause and effect. Physics depends on the idea that cause comes before effect, which makes, like, say, traveling to the past, like, it breaks that rule completely. It makes it like probably impossible, or just the energy like required at all to like create a wormhole or to go at near light speed. You would need a lot of it, like a lot more than we can produce. Or the chronology protection conjecture was just one I really had to research because I didn't know what it was. So Stephen Hawking suggested that the laws of physics might prevent time travel to the past entirely. He called this the chronology protection principle. So it basically says nature won't let paradoxes happen. Off of the topic of time travel, let's go into consciousness and reality now. Like, what is consciousness? I'd say it's your awareness, your thoughts, experiences, sense of self. And we don't really know its true nature. It's been debated for centuries. Philosophers and scientists have debated that for a long time. I'd say some interesting questions is consciousness a product of the brain or something beyond our physical realm? Can it exist? Can our reality exist without our consciousness to observe it? Let's look at some theories of consciousness. Materialism. Consciousness arises from just the brain's physical process, just neurons firing up, or when the brain stops, consciousness ends. There's dualism. Mind and body are separate. The body is very physical, but the mind is not physical. Like, your consciousness or soul exists beyond the body and might even survive after death. I still don't know how to say this one, so this one I actually have to write down. Panpsychism? I don't know. But consciousness is a fundamental part of the universe, like space or time. Basic particles might have a form of consciousness. Simulation theory. Reality could be a simulation. That's a really controversial one. Saying that we might live in a simulation. Looking more into some, like, metaphysicians suggest that consciousness shapes reality. In quantum physics, particles behave differently when observed. So I wonder if consciousness affects reality at like a fundamental level. Manifestation and intention. Many believe that our thoughts can influence physical reality. Let's look at the multiverse next. The multiverse series says that multiple universes exist, like through its own version of like a reality, or they just like vary slightly. Look at some of the theories for that. We got bubble universes, which is just our universe, just one bubble in a vast cosmic foam. I think this means it's like kind of like it kind of looks like bubble wrap, but each bubble is a different universe. There's the many world interpretation, which is quantum physics, and every decision creates a new universe. I'm sure you've heard of that before. There's brain theory, or string theory. Our universe is a brain floating in higher dimensional space, and then other brains, universes just exist millimeters away from ours, but we can't see them or perceive them. Simulation, again, hypothesis. If we live in a simulation, there could be multiple simulated realities. So I don't really believe in that one. The implications of the multiverse are also very important. Parallel versions of yourself. If it allows time travel, spiritual connections, it could really do like make religion just go out the window. So I think that's all I'm going to do for today.